Is it? No, where's the action?
All right, we'll call the Parks and Rec Advisory Board meeting for February 18th, 2026 to order. Request staff confirmation that the Kansas Open Meeting Act required notice has been properly provided.
It was.
Okay, we'll start with the roll call.
Dana Casso.
Kevin Janaszek.
Larry Penkratz.
John Miller.
Okay, next event on the agenda, sorry, I'm losing it today, is guests. I think we have a couple guests with us today.
Jeff accidentally left it off of here, but he would like to introduce Brian Van Kuren, if you're not familiar with him. Invited him here to kind of talk about the tennis complex and what he does there.
Yep.
So Brian, if you wouldn't mind.
I'll give you guys some information on that.
Thank you, Brian.
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Of course. Yeah. So I also have Linda Johnson here. She's on the Salina Tennis Alliance board with us here in Salina. And really, I just want to let you guys know what we do at Salina Tennis Alliance. So, beginning of April, mid-April, I should say, we're going to start programming for young kids. And we've always had a good turnout when it comes to clinics and stuff like that. And then we also partner up with the city of Salina when it comes to Parks and Rec, when it comes to our match point. And we've had close to about 30 plus participants every summer for that. And then we've also have partnered up with the Y this past fall, where we did an indoor camp, and we had over 50 participants. And so really it's just trying to give back to the city of Salina, what tennis is all about here. So, and that's what I also have partnered schools. So the only school I kind of left off is Salina South, and that's only because they have their own complex and they don't necessarily need us as much. But we still have a really good relationship. If they ever need anything, they're always welcomed this way. But Salina Central High School is they're going to host a home tournament April 25th, and then they're also going to host regionals this spring as well. South Middle School and Lakewood Middle School, they practice out there when it comes to fall and spring. And then we also have Salina Sacred Heart just started practicing out there as well. So each three of those schools all get 4 courts to practice on, and then Kansas Wesleyan will use the courts after they're done. Okay. And so I kind of have written down when their practices start. Right now, Kansas Wesleyan's actually in the peak of their season right now. It's so as soon as this is over, I'm actually going straight over there because we're doing a scrimmage with Pratt Community College at the moment. So, but our goal is to host 2027 Boys State next year, and we're also have hosted multiple tournaments here. We're actually trying to get the KCAC tournament here as well, here in Salina, which would be a huge hit for us here. And then big things that have highlighted for us this year alone is in 2026, we host the ITA Central West Regional Tournament. It's a college tournament, and we had over 200 participants on men and women's side. And it was a huge thing that, hotels, a lot of local food vendors and all that, they all were very appreciative. They all loved what we did there. And I just want to say how great the tennis courts are and what we of Salina have done together in this sense. So, but basically on the back side of the sheet I handed to you guys, I kind of have some rundowns to you guys and what we did in the spring of 2025 to fall 25. And we also hosted 321A Girls State Tennis this past year. That was a kind of a weird deal because usually it's been Salina Central or Salina South that have hosted state at the facility. Well, this time Kansas Wesleyan stepped up because they kind of needed somebody to host state, and so we helped host state for them in that year. So it was pretty cool. They were very appreciative. I'm from a small town as well, so I got to see my own high school come compete here in Salina. So it was kind of a warm welcoming for me in that sense. But I also was really glad to see that we were able to help 321A State in tennis this year. But I just wanted to see if you guys had any questions on your guys' agendas or anything like that you guys would like to know more about Salina Tennis Alliance.
I'm curious why Central has events there when they have their own kind of complex there as well at the high school.
Yeah, so they both have 8 courts, you know, Central and South. Central they have a big tournament, and so it's a lot easier to run things with 12 courts than there is, 8. So things go a lot quicker.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So do these work just like our ball diamonds, that there's fees whenever there's tournaments and things there?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Well, on our ball diamonds, we have fees that are charged. So and same with them practicing and things like that.
Yep. We have a fee for each school for South Lakewood, Sacred Heart, and Kansas West End. So whenever they want to practice or host an event, there is a fee that goes involved with that as well.
And I think I really wanted to get this just on the minutes, but I still have people ask me, how can you access the place? And I said, you go up there and you just punch in the number on it. But people are still confused that you can't access it. So I just want to make sure people understand this is open to the public.
It is. Yep. This is open to the public. The codes are on the walls. But, of course, if people are impatient, they can't get in. So they have to wait until it clicks. So, but yes, it's a open to the public event. We usually have signs out there if we are hosting an event so they don't walk out there and know that there's an event going on. So, but, yeah.
Where is state currently being held?
So state tennis for high school basically is it's kind of like a rotational, like it's whatever school wants to host. And it's not like basketball or wrestling where it's kind of like in the same spot.
Sure.
They try to rotate around with as many schools around as possible. So.
Well, the nice thing about Salina being centrally located,
yes,
you've got the interstates coming in.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
And that's what, back in 2023, that was the first time that we have hosted a state tennis tournament since 2004, I want to say. So just because you have to have 12 courts. And so with the addition of this, and we can do that now. So
for sure.
And that's what's fun though is when we host our college tournament, we actually use South, Central, and the big tennis center as well. So we have 28 courts going all at the same time. So it's a really cool event.
And you're also the Kansas West End coach.
Yep. Good. So.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, guys.
Yep. Travis, do you want to introduce your guest now as well?
Oh, I had her in here.
Okay. No, that's fine. Oh, we'll wait then. That's fine.
No, I'm going to go now.
Okay, go. Go for it.
She's very excited.
Yeah.
I did mention last meeting or two that we have incurred some vacancies, and we're working hard to fill those, and we're successful on hiring the first one here. Darcy Gillen, I'll let her introduce herself and give a brief to you, okay?
Okay.
Welcome to city government.
Hi, my name is Darcy Gillen. I graduated from Tabor. I'll graduate in May again with my master's. I just started as a recreation leader. Now we're getting ready for adult softball and youth baseball, so I'll be running those. I'm super excited, and yeah, that's it.
She might be a little nervous.
That's all right.
She skipped a few things. She's from California originally, and then she was a shortstop, star shortstop there at Tabor. So she tends to know a little bit about the game.
Good.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is Citizens Forum. Do we have anybody who would wish to speak? Okay, we'll move on to number 3, approval of agenda. Does anybody have any amendments they want to make to the agenda?
I don't know if we make it after the fact, but to add the guests on, probably.
Yeah, we'll get that back on there next time. Yep.
I don't know if we have to, before we can approve it, don't we have to amend it?
Well, we already did that.
I
so.
know. But just try, Robert's Rules of Orders would say you have to put it on there before we.
Well, if you want to make a motion to change the agenda.
Okay, I will make a motion to add the guest onto the agenda, even if we've already had it. But that way we're kosher here.
I'll second that. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right, motion passes. All right, now would you like to approve the agenda with the amendment?
Do you need a motion again?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I thought I made that with the first one. Okay, making second motion.
I'll second that as well. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, going on to the next one, approval of minutes. Everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting. Anything you guys saw in there that we need to adjust?
I move we approve the agenda minutes.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the last meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Passes 4-0. On to activity reports.
All right. I'll, as Jeff usually does, I'll hit a few spots, but then I'll have the respective supervisor cover the rest of them. A couple of things, and the facility maintenance crew's been going crazy here. They've been all over the place this last month, not just like, hey, we did this one big item. They've done a ton of, like 15 facilities where they've gone through and did pest control, 17 facilities, the HVAC. So I wanted to give a shout out. Sometimes that stuff gets overlooked. It's like just keeping us running, and I want to make sure to point that out. One of the things that kind of been under scrutiny, obviously the animal shelter with facility maintenance went in there and helped, kind of assisted them get their laundry room in order. So I wanted to make sure that got listed. And then also there was a specific one in here marked as a shout out, so I wanted to make sure to mention that is there's a shout out for gratitude for Jennifer, Carrie, and Jessica working to ensure that the museum was as clean as possible with the snowstorm and hosting Kansas Day celebration. They specifically got a shout out, so I wanted to make sure to mention their names here. He'll probably talk about it, but I wanted to point out this. The KRPA conference was this month in January, and specifically why I'm going to mention it, he might mention it as well, but is one of our other people that are currently in attendance, Sarah, had the opportunity. She was a presenter, and then she was also on a committee, and we appreciate when someone takes the time out of their to give the city of Salina a good name by doing that, so we appreciate that, Sarah.
And that was on therapeutic recreation.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yes, it was. I'll move on. We'll go to parks.
So in January, parks is usually bound for weather, so we usually are doing maintenance inside, but with the way the weather's been, we have done some projects outside. The first one really sticks out was our first snowstorm, so we were out and about on 124th to 126th. The other one, some of our staff, there was I think 2 or 3 that helped with the pit count for the homeless count. That went real well. We helped Travis one turf flip on the 9th. And over at Kenwood, we removed 11 tables total of the old concrete that were broken up and hardly used. So that was the big ones. Forestry, I always like forestry with the street trees. They've done a marvelous job. I don't know if all of you are here when I showed you the map of where they're at. They do a tremendous job. So end of the month, we ended up with our Christmas tree recycling. We ended up with 271 total recycled. And I was telling Brett today, I have the last 2 years, 24 we did 289, and in 23 we did 227. So not bad.
So they're kind of staying the same in a way.
Yeah, they are. I think trees have actually gone up in price here recently, so I can see it going down. Landscaping, they're kind of like us, depending on weather. They do a lot of their maintenance, but with the weather that we have, they have cleaned up pretty much all of the beds in the park. So, and that was a big one there. And that's all I have.
Just want to touch base on what he mentioned. We call them turf flips. Okay, the field house has that portable turf, and then there's some times of the year we have it all down, just like right now. There's some times of the year we have it all up or one portion down, and the unsung heroes that we speak of that do the dirty work and the not so fun work, the parks, we got a facility superintendent or a facilities crew, custodial, that do an amazing job. What that involves is turf is like gold during Monday through Friday, right? Everybody wants to practice on it and that type of thing, but then the facility has to flip of we need all 6 basketball courts, so we got to pick all that turf up on a Friday and put her back down on a Monday. It's not fun, but we try to make it fun and reward them for doing that. Just want to tell them thank you for that. To activity reports, same thing. Our winter leagues are up and going, full blast. If you ever want some entertainment, go there maybe on a Tuesday night. It kind of fell into this a little bit, but we run our youth basketball league, so very busy with that. But then you have the homeschool having one of their games going on at the same time with concessions. They usually bring a great crowd, so very, very crowded on a Tuesday night. So that's been good for us. So I just wanted to mention that.
Is there one field or court that tends to be the premier court that they use?
Yeah, so based on their crowd and what they bring and transition space and just extra space, number 2 has kind of just developed into more of our game court for that. We can put a little extra seating in there for them. So number 2, we've kind of reserved for them, and then our league's kind of working around that. It's worked, it works. And then our TV's out in the lobby. You can view the game from out there. Concessions are open, and it's just a good feel. Our events, I think I've mentioned this several times. MAYB is a great presence in our facility. We had a couple tournaments there. We did host a gymnastics meet. That's one that takes a little time to set up for and tear down, but we figure out a way to do that. They had an estimated 21 teams with 620 participants. That's pretty darn good. And just to mention, we did snag a AAU regional gymnastics meet, and it's going to be over, they picked a great date. It's over Memorial Weekend. And guess who's working Memorial Weekend along with everybody else? But that's a great event for us. So looking forward to that.
And gymnastics, in the past when I ran gymnastics programs, you had to tie everything down to the floors. Are they set up that way nowadays?
They're weighted.
They're all weighted?
Yeah, they have some weights. We do put the vinyl down. That's the one thing I'm kind of referring to, similar to the turf. It's not fun by any means, but it does protect our floor. And we get the dust, the chalk, of course, and then Custodio does a great job of cleaning that up before we get back to rolling it up. So just those little things that make the big difference, I think. I think I gradually said this to you, but I just wanted to put everything into a year-end report. And overall, 2025, I've been here almost 20 years now. So this was the best that I've seen overall as far as athletics and field house, and total numbers was total tournament teams is what got me. That's 1,244 tournament teams in indoor and outdoor facilities. City of Salina facilities, that doesn't count. Maybe they ran something at South or ran something elsewhere that I wasn't aware of, but that was just on City of Salina facilities. Visit Salina provides some data, what estimated economic impact they bring, and that was over $11 million. And so when you do those numbers, we had a 16% increase in revenues. So that's good, very good. And so I just want to provide those to you. And our league teams, I mentioned that too, 550. That's the most I've seen since I've been here. And that carrot that been out there, we wanted to reach that 500 number for years and fell short of 491 or something, and we finally got her. And that's a tribute to staff. Okay, that's my next point here. I wish the horizon, the forecast was the same, but unfortunately we have some few vacancies. We filled one. And we're down to our final candidates for the other. So we're working quickly, as quick as we can, to get those positions filled so we can at least keep this momentum going. It probably will stall a little bit, but we want to keep that momentum going and keep recreating. So.
Okay.
Any questions? Darcy will answer them.
Nope. No questions. All right. We will move on to the next agenda item, which is new business. And under that, we need to approve the updated annual board report.
Staff put together with a list that you guys kind of provided us last time we were here.
Yep.
So if you have a chance to look it over, make sure that we captured everything that you were thinking of. If that's the case, then we look for an approval so we can move on with that.
I didn't see anything that was missed when I read through it.
I so move to approve the board's and commission's annual reporting form for the city of Salina.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the annual reporting form. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right, that passes. Moving on to old business. It doesn't look like we have any old business. Moving on to project status updates. Jerry Ivy Splash Pad.
Dennis can probably fill you in better, but we were making some really good progress, really quick progress there for a bit, and then we kind of got held up because of we need some compaction testing, and we have too much moisture currently. So they came in, help me out here. What's the word I'm looking for to the soil?
So Wendell came in last week. They got it all cleaned up, but on the bottom they had to rip the foundation. So ripping, he just comes in with a skid, rips it so it can dry out faster. And with that snow, he was telling me the percentage, we got to be around the 20% to get a compaction test. So I talked to him yesterday. He was going to show up tomorrow to rip it one more time and let it dry out and hopefully get it tested. Hopefully Monday, but I saw there's a slight chance of snow again. So I'll talk to him more tomorrow, but we're really close to getting that test. And once we do and it passes, then we'll get started with the plumbing and concrete. So,
and it sounded like from the back and forth with one of the project managers, it sounded like once they get to that point, it can go really fast, and it'll go from looking like, I'm not going to say it doesn't look like anything right now, but kind of a dirt
hole
pit
in the ground,
to all of a sudden you're going to start seeing some stuff. So maybe 11 business days, like really quick after that. But we just got to get to that point. So,
and the nice thing about this one versus the old one is it's actually made to do better maintenance on.
Correct.
Yeah. The last one was a big problem. Yeah.
We selected this with maintenance in mind ahead of time, and with a group that seems like they know exactly what we dealt with before, and to not make that same mistake again.
Good.
If you're good, we'll go to Barkley Park improvements. I'll leave it to Dennis again because his staff is the ones that are up there right now.
So the concrete project is all done. The structures that Jeff purchased, we got 3 in. They are up and usable, but we're up there this week putting in new benches and new doggy stations and removing a couple of the old benches that some of them didn't like because of the gaps in between them, so understandable. Other than that, hopefully we have that project wrapped up by next week if the weather cooperates, and there should be 3 new benches and 4 new doggy stations. So,
just out of curiosity, how well do the people clean up after their dogs?
Truthfully, when in the summertime, I hear more, with the mowers, but usually the mower guys have never really complained. So they must do a decent job. So I can.
There's a lot of people out there.
I
see a lot. It's amazing.
It was packed yesterday. I was amazed. I was like, wow.
I think they do a pretty decent job of self-policing that. There's a couple groups that really dislike when someone does it, and they'll let them know. So I believe
because we have containers to get bags
we
out and
do
stuff,
with
right?
trash bags.
Okay.
We had for a while we had like special trash cans specifically for that and everything. But I think for the most part that's self-policed, and they do a pretty decent job. There's some that obviously it doesn't happen, but for the most part it's not.
Unfortunately, it's life.
Yeah, it is. I think that was it. Just to clarify, for a reminder, we talked about it last time, but we have the 3 shelters that are put up there. We specifically skipped one of the pods because we had 3 shelters. We're in the process of ordering another shelter, but that pod is going to be closed this year. So we actually went to the ones that are going to be open, and so I wanted to make sure we reiterated that. I know we talked about it last time, but there's some people that were still confused when they saw it. Why'd you skip this pod? Well, that pod's the pod that's going to be closed for, getting the grass all rejuvenated and all that. So we skipped that one because it was not going to be used, and we're ordering a new one, and I think it was like a 16-week lead time to get those. So we're like, well, let's just Jeff had the good idea to move it to one of the open pods. That way the open pods have the shelter in place, and I wanted to make sure that was I talked about it again because I've had some questions from others about that, and I wanted to make sure that it's out there. It's been out there a couple times. So, and if we're good with that, then I'll move on. There's really nothing to add on. We haven't been able, with the moisture that we've had, the same kind of issue that was going on with the Jerry Ivy splash pad is kind of the same thing. Nothing has really started with concrete improvements 4B, phase 4B. We've met with them a few times about what we're going to do, but nothing has quite started yet. But it is coming very quickly, and I don't think it'll take them long at all. But unfortunately, nothing with the weather being as it has been, nothing's really started yet. So.
Overall, going through the parks, you've seen some of these improvements for a year or two now, but it's just nice there's restrooms that have concrete to them. There's, just a lot of nice things going on. So
definitely.
Okay. Any general announcements?
Kevin, if I may,
Yep,
I skipped an important part.
Okay.
We have a staff member here, Sarah Hageman. She runs a very crucial, in my opinion, just some therapeutic recreation trips and tours, recreation programming, and maybe can speak to KRPA. So she's here that maybe you would like to speak, Sarah. Do you guys have any questions? We have her here now.
Yeah. You might explain some of the different activities you have. I probably know more about it, but if you just kind of give everybody an overview of what you do.
Sorry, I put you on the podium, Sarah.
No, we're not.
So with the presentation that I did at KRPA, it was with the Pitt State professor that has the only therapeutic recreation certification degree in the state. It was more so presenting on the activities that we do with our therapeutic rec group, the few we did in January with winter-themed art, the DIY magnets, and board game days, more so giving information of how they can adapt even without the therapeutic recreation certification, which I don't have, but it's all about learning and sharing resources and getting activities adapted to everybody that wants to come.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And what kind of activities do you run here?
We, those ones that I mentioned for January, we also do an adapted sports programming, which is our Can Play. We run it's a 4-week session that we adapt. We're getting ready to do floor hockey starting the end of March. So between adapted sports programming, we do a fitness day. They love board games, bingo, all of those activities, but we also do craft days. We coordinate with the library to do activities there, utilizing resources that we don't have, 3D printers, their Sphero robots, so providing activities that they can participate in as well with the equipment that we wouldn't necessarily have to our disposal.
How many participants do you have?
Depending on the day, we usually do our programming on Tuesdays. We average anywhere from 8 to 15. If we're going bowling, if we're eating out, if we're having dances, I had 45 signed up for our Sweetheart dance that we had just a couple weeks ago. So it kind of varies depending on what it is and what time of day. So.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Just want to mention she runs her senior trips as well, and those trips have been full, and I think they're going to Maxwell, see the elk here pretty soon. Just, one-day trips like that. It's crucial to, and touching a lot of different groups.
Yeah. So. Okay. Anything else, Brett, Travis, Dennis? All right. You want to make a motion to adjourn? Anybody?
I move we adjourn this meeting.
I'll take a second.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.